Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can you guys hear me just fine? How's everybody doing? Pewdie up. How you guys doing? James, good morning. Not so early in the morning. I'm not Eastern time. So, sorry, I'm also just trying to log into my Thinkorswim. I don't know why. Um, it's not letting me. Good morning. Oh, jeez, man. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, 3 in the morning Eastern. It is currently, well, it's about to be 8 in the morning UK time. What am I looking at? A few things. Previous daily high, previous daily low are both equal subjects in my vision. What's up, Zaza? What's up, Trader Peter? Yeah. Previous daily high, previous daily low are both targets in my eyes because we are currently midpoint of this range. To be honest with you. Another note to make is the fact that we had a pretty strong rejection at around 12 p.m. yesterday. And so just watching both of these levels as we've just been consolidating pretty much all throughout the morning, Eastern time. I am a little jet lagged, so bear with me. But that should be good by today. How are you guys? Did you guys just wake up? What time zone are you guys in? Not framing anything internally, right? Just waiting for one side to be engaged. Yeah, ideally. 5 p.m. over here. Where the hell are you guys? 9 a.m. Cape Town, so 9 a.m. Nice. Yeah, I'm expecting this to be kind of like a slow session today, to be honest. Is today uh let me check. On the third Friday of every month. Is this the third Friday of the month? I believe so. April 3rd was Friday, April 10th, April 17th. So today is actually OPEX, which is options expiration. Which tells me a couple things. It's April 17th, yeah. Which tells me we'll likely which tells me people are likely organizing their books today. That's what that tells me. Lean with it, rock with it. 3 p.m. Singapore, Sydney. Damn, we have a bunch of different areas. So yeah, I'm not expecting too much movement today, to be honest with you guys. Um, it is also a Friday, like statistically my horse day. So I would like to be I'd like to be cautious. It's 3 p.m. in Singapore. I've actually never been. I've never been to Sydney either or Cape Town. I would love to go. Anyways, Asia session did not really do much. Just kind of consolidated here within this like 20-point range, I'd say. About 43-point range. Good morning. What I would like to see, at least ideally, and let's actually take a look at ES here. Pop ES open. ES is actually slightly higher to the high. But if you pop ES, we'll look at the previous daily high. Same exact setup as NQ, previous daily low. And so ES, funny enough, is actually slightly stronger than NQ when it comes to this, even though it had a stronger retrace. Good morning, wine. M wine. So I think what would be nice is maybe a potential sweep of the previous daily high on ES, a divergence with NQ at these highs. NQ fails to take this high, and then we see a retrace back into the range. I think that might be the most logical sense or the most logical move. And again, it is OPEX, it is a Friday. As far as if I'm looking to push it on anything, I think today would be the last day that I look to push on anything. This week was rough. Just still trying to mentally adjust from the range that we were in and just haven't been able to get a groove on this uptrend, to be honest with you. It's currently 3 in the morning. I think JP Morgan does a quarterly hedge using SPX, so they might adjust their books today. I don't know who else. But yeah, OPEX today. I haven't done my research too much on OPEX. Um, I think it really just depends. But again, I don't even know how much. Let me check. How much is expiring in options? So today should be just over 1 billion in options expiring today. So, I mean, what does that mean? Again, it's up for interpretation, but for all major OPEX days, to me, it just means that we'll likely make an inside day. That could mean inside on NQ. Um, but ES could definitely sweep out that high. I think framing a Friday retracement logic to cap off the weekly range would be ideal. I think so too. What's up? You're the best. Thank you. Boom. Ooh, crispy. Little ASMR. A little ASMR action. Oh yeah. Hmm. Okay. So yeah, it looks like we're just getting a slight little push here to the upside. If there was anything obvious, I would say is, I mean, the fact that we sheep in the previous 4 hour low, the fact that we made an hourly swing, and the fact that this 5 minute OB is actually now holding. That would be the only thing I really observe. You do have equal highs. Um, so I think that would be kind of the most obvious thing here. Lean with it. I done it. How did you guys do this week? Give me a recap. If you guys had to, if you had to write down one thing that you did well this week that you would take with you into the future, what would it be? Deep red week with the blown evals. Two win, one loss, so pretty good market we have. Pretty good for the market we have. Not spiral and didn't FOMO on a massive move. Yeah, that's typically what I include on all my weekly. Like those are the two most important questions I ask myself. It's number one, what did I do well that I want to remember and take with me? And number two, what did I do wrong that I don't want to forget? Lock trade of 8 for a day after a win? Nice. I think these are really crucial. Journaling and following my rules. Hell yeah. That's good. That's always good. Good thing to be proud of. What's up, Zeus? I was just asking everyone what you're not in the US right now? No, I'm in the UK. In the United States of Kingdom. And what I did wrong, I shorted the market because somebody else did go short while I was long biased. I skipped my own analysis. and did go short instead, and that one fucked my head insanely. Makes sense that you were on some demon shit. Now, I did go live last week in the US. Do you use Adjust for the chart? This is so interesting. I feel like we've been getting this question a lot recently. What is, why is everyone asking? I wonder. I personally, what I do for balance adjust is I head over to barchart.com. Um, if you go over to barchart.com and you look at the current contract or even just the CME website and compare the trading view chart with balance adjust on and balance adjust off. Um, oh, because without it, we haven't hit all-time high. I see. Well, let's do this. Let's do this together. I should be able to switch. One sec. Long day again, huh? Good night, Alex. What's up, Joey? Joey. Let's do this together. Should be able to. There we go. If you go over to barchart.com and then at the top here, you just look up, yeah, if you look up bar chart, you look at NQ and you look at the current contract. So this is also something that you should be doing for the volume, right? So whenever every quarter, um, we switch, obviously NQM, NQU, NQZ. If you head over to bar chart and you just click here, you can look at the volume and then you can look at the open interest, right? Those are the two. So obviously NQM has 263,000 open interest, and then NQU, which is the next one, has only 996 open interest, which means, oops, this is the contract we want to be using. And if you head over to the chart, open, high, low, and close bars, 1 month, full chart. There we go. Jesus. Daily chart, hold on. So this is actually interesting because on the bar chart, we haven't taken the high. On the NQM, 91, 91, 91. Oh my God, man, this is kind of unbearable. Be adjust on, tap the monthly FEG, be adjust off, no tap on the monthly gap. But yeah, what I do is I just come here and I typically just compare whatever I'm seeing on TradingView to this. This is interesting because on the NQ, on the ES, even on the ESM bar chart, we haven't hit this high. So I wonder where the discrepancy is coming from. But yeah, with balance adjust off, this is what your chart should look like on ES and on NQ. Let me switch over back to the NQ chart. There we go. Thank you, sir. So yeah, to answer your question, I would likely have it off. But just to make sure, I always check a third party source, and that can be The just a regular contract on bar chart or just even thinkorswim? Long day again. Yeah, man. I won't be on London session for too long. Again, it is OPEX, so I'm not like too too excited about today. And it's also Friday, and I don't know about you guys, but not to sound like a broken record, statistically, Fridays are just really shit for me. And look at the monthly also. What is OPEX? It's so it's the third Friday of every month, I believe. It's major options expiration. And so a lot of the books are being adjusted today when it comes to options. A lot of options are expiring today. I think over $1 billion in dollar volume. And so it's open for interpretation, but the way I see it is a major book adjustment or balancing across some major assets just causes us to kind of stay within a range, which is kind of, completely normal. Again, if you guys head over to the daily chart, you can see that we've just had such a continuous up move here. I'm expecting this to kind of look to breathe a little bit. Would I be shocked if 930 just sends us into the highs? Not entirely. But I also think that there's a little bit more risk here today when it comes to targeting the highs. So this is the daily chart. And again, since this 6th of April and you extend this out, we've had 9 bars. So these are approximately just 11 days of straight up movement. And so I'd like to consider the fact that this asset does need to breathe a little bit. And whenever an asset needs to breathe, I think you're taking on a bit more risk because a consolidation is kind of due. Um, did ES take out the high? No, it did not. But yeah, again, just kind of looking, observing to see if it taps into those 498s. Hey, Alex, how do you know so much? Now, I think some of these things are just come with a little bit of experience. Um, I was just like an accountant before this. But if you guys head over, if you guys want to learn a little bit more and just be a little bit more informed as to what you're trading, like what's going on, I think it's really important that you guys learn everything about the assets. Um, I think because we trade CME products, um, obviously index futures, these are CME products. It's really important that you know what you're trading, how it works, how prices are offered, what exactly does it track. Um, because I know some of you guys get confused with like SPY, SPX, ES. Um, what's the other one? SP 500. There are like so many different variations of one same thing. So I think it's important that you know how your product works. And by product, I mean the asset that you're trading, because not all assets are the same, right? It's the same thing with NQ. What does NQ track? It tracks the index itself, so NDX. Is it directly perfectly correlated when it comes to each price tick? Not really. Um, but if you guys do want to learn how to, a couple things or two, I think it's important. You can head over to, and by no means is this like a sponsorship or anything at all, obviously. If you go over to cmegroup.com, there's at the top bar, you'll see education. You can head over to education and then click futures fundamentals or just courses and lessons and then browse through because they have a lot of stuff. Um, they have a lot of stuff that can teach you. They have so many courses and so many lessons, and I think it's important because half of these people, I wouldn't even say half of these people, it's like 90% of the people can't even really tell you like what they're trading. And that's okay, right? Like, I think we've all just been introduced to the charts, and the charts are like what we need to know. That's just that's just what's important, right? Like, but I also think it's important you know what kind of product you're trading. Like, what is a futures contract? How does the exchange work? Oof. Because I know you guys have seen the joke about the barrels of oil being delivered. And it's like that was actually a result of a futures contract. As much as it is a joke, it could actually happen, you know? Am I taking this trade? I think I would like to. I mean, it is the model on an hourly and a 5 minute combination. So 463. If I do take it, I'll do just half risk because it is London. Like torches. Yeah, it's just important, right? How is it used, right? Like futures can be used for hedging, so can options. But there's more dollar volume in options, which means sometimes it can be I like to follow the money. Whenever I take into consideration any sort of volume, it's gonna be likely options. So I think it's important to know how the contracts work, what it is, etc. What is my model? It's really, really simple. It's a sweep of the previous 4 hour or the hourly high or low, and then a closure above or below the 5 minute or the 15 minute that pierced. Excuse me. So if you take a look at, I'm gonna make these a different color so you guys can see. But this red low represents the previous hourly low. This second red low represents the previous 4 hour low. These are two lows that I'm interested in seeing price revisit. If I were to ask you, can you guys mark out a singular candlestick that has pierced both of these lows? You would tell me that it's the 1 o'clock. And this is a 5 minute chart. You would tell me that this is the 1 o'clock. It's the 1 o'clock candle here, 1 a.m. And as you can see, it pierced both the 456 and the 445. As soon as you get a closure above that candle's high or the opening price, that now represents to me an order block. And so if we have equal highs, I'd like to place a limit order on this opening price, and then see a continuation from there. That's easy. Holy shit, that's profitable. That's how it should be, yeah. That's pretty much just how it should be. I mean, I obviously take into consideration a couple different things, right? Like, if I'm trading an hourly internal, it means I'm looking for a 5 minute external. In this case, we are trading an hourly internal. And in this case, this would be the 5 minute external, or at least the closest 5 minute external, because this is the current established range. But yeah, that is that is that's pretty much all I look for. The thing is, I always start my analysis on the daily chart. The daily chart tells me everything I need to know as far as a directional bias. If price closes above the series of down close candles, do you also consider that an OB2 or not? So it's all about the time frame perspective, right? Because on the 5 minute, if I ask you, was there another candle that happened to pierce both of these price points? N no, it's only this one. But if you go to a 1 minute chart, then you have a group of consecutive candles, one, two, three, and then four. So these four are responsible for piercing this price point and that price point. So in my eyes, my time frame pairings are hourly and 5 minute and 4 hour and 15. So in this case, obviously, from this perspective on a 5 minute chart, yes, it's a singular candle, but obviously on a zoomed in chart, it would be the group of candles. It's always H4 plus H1, or do you also consider just one of them? I also consider just one of them, but I do prefer whenever it's both. So in this case, look, this is the hourly chart. I would consider this an hourly internal because we haven't swept a major external range. So the current hourly range is from 26,335. The current two major highs, or the current major high and the current major low, are this one here. So the Thursday 12 p.m. high and then the Thursday 2 p.m. low. These are going to be the hourly externals, which means that any interaction with minor lows between this low and this high are going to be considered internal for me. So as you can see, we swept out the previous hourly low and we swept out this minor low as well at 445. And you did get a kind of like a bullish reaction out of there. The candle responsible, it's this one here, 1 a.m. Got a closure above that high. So I retraced back at 235 and a slight expansion here at 3 in the morning. I love gold, long daily plus H4. Gold daily. So here we have something interesting as well. We have a daily internal, which means that I'd be looking for an hourly external. We also have a sweep of the previous daily low, and not to, to apply the same to apply to apply the same logic. You have a daily internal, a sweep of the previous daily low, go over to an hourly chart, and then ask yourself, is there a singular candle responsible for piercing the previous daily low, which is the bold line? And you would say, yeah, there is a singular candle that is responsible for piercing this low. And it's this, I think that's 9 p.m. From this open to that low. That is your rejection block, order block, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. The point is that this is the singular candle responsible for piercing this low. Did we get a closure above this? Yeah. The thing is, Obviously, when we have a major wick, I have a different entry criteria. When we have a major wick on a candle that pierced, I'm going to look to enter on 50% of that magic line on 50% of the total range of the candle. And as you can see here, we tapped in at 48.01. And this is only when I have major wicks. This is only when we have major wicks. Whenever we just have a singular candle, I just enter off the opening price off the body. It's simple. It looks like the fractal model, but this is easier to understand. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trading pretty much a swing and an internal to external logic. That's all I'm looking for. So again, you have a daily internal, which means that what? I'm going to look for a hourly external. And the current hourly external at this point in time, first one is going to be 4827, and then the second one is 4834. So on gold, I'd be looking to target these two highs. Now, does it necessarily make sense for me to take on risk here? Not at the opening price of the candle, but again, whenever there are huge wicks, I like to do 50% of the total range, which means that you'd be looking at something like this with the stop at the low and then target the first hourly external, which would be at that high. Obviously, you can zoom in to get a little bit more precise, but this is the general idea. But yeah, so if we go back to NQ, could you also consider the hourly external with the prior hour sweep at the lows? No, back to hourly internal and maybe back down. Could you also consider the hourly external on the prior hourly sweep on the lows? Yeah, for sure. You could also consider that. It's all perspective, right? It's just about the way that I'm framing. I think that the higher time frame takes precedence, which is why I start my analysis on the higher time frame. And so this is the way my pairings work. So if we're going from internal to external, that means that if we have a daily, I'm looking for an hourly. If we have a 4 hour, that means I'm looking for a 15-minute. If we have a hourly internal, then that means I'm looking for a 5-minute external. And then this is like when I get into the really low time frames. If we have a 15-minute internal, whoops, then I look for a 1-minute or 30-second external. So the difference here is that I'm not necessarily targeting. We didn't manage to tap into my limit order here at 24,463, unfortunately, but that's okay. And I'll tell you why I switched, because logically some people do this and I completely understand their reasoning. What some people like to do is that they like to use the same time frame, right? Which makes sense. Because let's think about this for a second. From a 4 hour perspective, I'm trying to just get a good I'm trying to get a good example here. Okay, here we go. For example, here, from a 4 hour perspective, this was our internal, right? And I'll make these big. Right there is our internal. And at that time, as we were tapping into that internal, where is our external? It's obviously going to be at this high, right? Because right now, our current established range is anywhere between this low and this high, which means that any imbalances between this low and this high are to be considered internal, which means that this high Anything above this high now becomes external. Anything below this low becomes external as well. Can I type? That'd be nice. Right? Makes sense. So anything between here and here is uh, internal, right? Which means that if I'm reaccumulating within this imbalance, I'm looking for external. As you can see, you had a nice little push there at 10 in the morning. Now, this is the way that I go about it. People normally seek the same time frame for both. People will tell you, or whoever trades, whoever you guys listen to, I don't know. They'll tell you that if I'm in a 4 hour internal, I'm logically going to target a 4 hour external. And that makes sense, right? Like that could also work. But the way I use it is I use a higher time frame array, in this case the internal, and then I target a lower time frame external. And so in this particular case, 4 hour internal, and then if I were to target a 15-minute external, it would also be this high. So there are obviously going to be instances where my time frames align in that sense, but a lot of the times you'll have a case like this where you tap into a daily internal. I know I sound like a broken record. You sweep the previous daily low, and now you want to target an hourly external. And so if you look from an hourly perspective, you can see that the range has been established by this high and this low, which means that this is going to be the hourly external. Yours probably makes more logical sense because of a bullish bias. It's also like the first question I ask myself whenever I get on the charts in the morning is, keep this on, is where are we going on the daily and where are we likely to gravitate towards? Now, statistically speaking, Thursday closed above Wednesday's high, right? Which means I'm likely looking for a continuation into the previous daily high. Which means what? Which means I'm looking for a 4 hour swing or an hourly swing in this direction. It's simple. Like those are the simple steps. Step one is daily. Step two is, did yesterday close above or below its previous daily high or low? Number three is, if we closed above, that means I'm seeking previous daily high today. And then the next step is finding a 4 hour or hourly internal that can, that in the direction of the previous daily high. So you start on the daily. Did yesterday's close above or below its previous daily high or low? Yesterday was Thursday, which means I'm using Wednesday. We did close, so Thursday did close above Wednesday's high, which means that today I'm likely looking for a continuation into Thursday's high. I've established a bullish bias, which now means I need to find an hourly or 4 hour internal structure in the direction of the previous daily high. Which makes sense, right? Because as soon as you have this, as soon as you've made it to step four, you've now established a good bias and a good narrative, and everything else is just going to be lower time frame structure. So you can see here, right? Like just to set an example, we've swept out this low and the previous hourly low, and you've established a swing towards the direction of the previous daily high. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we would look to target previous daily high, but having a bias or a general bias is a part of my system. So that order block is my entry. Exactly, right? We've established that I want us to look for prices into these highs. If I have established a draw on liquidity, it just means that I need to establish a structure that will guide me in this direction, in this general direction, right? I need to establish an idea that'll guide me in this general direction. And what does price like to do? When price is going towards highs, it likes to do two things. It likes to make swings at the lows, right? It likes to make swings at the lows, and it likes to do and create open, low, high, and close. Makes sense, right? Like pretty logical. So in this case, what do? You can use your midnight opening price point, or you can use how I use the 4-hour opening price points. And as you can see, we made an open low on this 4-hour candle, and we are now making an open low on this second 4-hour candle, which I have here plotted. Yeah, right here. I just wasn't sure if you could see it or not. So yeah, I've established that my general direction is higher. So I now just need to establish the mid time frame narrative and the lower time frame structure that'll help me in that general direction. I need a massage. What point is break even? That's a great question. And obviously, I'm going to be cherry picking this answer because we already kind of have some sort of established price action to the upside. I'm not gonna lie, I'm slightly upset at the fact that we weren't able to enter off of this one, but that's okay. So break even for me here would be this first high. You only enter on the 5 minute. I prefer lower time frames. Yeah. I rarely execute on the 15, but I mean, I still do it. That really just depends. What are you looking for? For shorts. Yeah, bro. That entry was at 465 on the 15-minute time frame because of an immediate rebalance. Fair. Fair point. If a lower time frame PDA is below a higher time frame PDA, sometimes it won't touch. Yeah, I agree. Higher time frame always takes precedence. Hmm. Gold kind of seeing some downside here. I wouldn't be opposed to looking for a re-entry on this. Not a re-entry, just a entry. Now though, you may still have a go because price is moving stuck. Yeah. Again, it's also OPEX, so like in what way?
I bet there aren't many people expecting and the sort of market on the side. And this is there. I better get a decent correction.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, it probably won't be the time on that. But the crack probably all happened at 9:30, yeah, I think so. Always.
Yeah. No time to think. Four eight zero one 42. I've had no good luck on gold recently. But let's see. 4801.3. Is that Kane in the background? Yes, that is Kane. Kane says good morning. He says he loves you all very much.
Huh?
I said Kane says good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
There's a clear buy model on the 15-minute down to the 1 minute. So because of this shitty consolidation, best thing to do anyways for a long waiting on the 15-minute. He did not. Best thing to do if you think this is shitty is to not do anything. You know? All right. I am officially tagged in on these gold longs at 4801.3. I think we get a nice reaction out of here. Um, I lied, 4801.7. Sorry. Let me attach this really quick. Oh, too large. What? So hopefully we get a move out of here. If not, my stop is at 4787.6. What time frame is this? This is the 1 minute, but there you go. I'm gonna have this up on the 5. I think we get a nice move out of here on gold. And my break-even point is 4815.3. So as soon as we get into this high, I would look to go break even. If we get into that high. What is this, gold? Yeah, this is the gold 5 minute chart. Again, I told you guys I like to enter off the wick whenever there's a large wick on the hourly. So we have a really large wick on the hourly, 50% of that, magic 50%, and then just execute on the 5 or the 15. Half risk here, not really my session. So I'm just doing half risk, maybe even less. I think it's like a third, more likely. It did not sweep on GC or MGC on my chart yet. What do you mean? Is this futures? Yeah. If you're watching the CFD, it might be different. Honestly, kind of a really nice move here by gold.
Did you get in?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, I'm in there. There we go. That's more accurate. Yeah, looking to target that 4834.8. So it might take us a minute. But yeah, as soon as we get into the 4815, I think I would look to go break even. Here is that. So we just have that there. Because unfortunately, you guys can't see my trade of a chart. That's okay. Nice push here. Honestly, because of this pretty solid entry, I'd like to see a move here. What time is it? 3:55. So we got about 5 minutes before the hourly open. In this case, you don't target the 5 minute external, you go for the 1 hour. Yes, correct. So 1 hour would be this one here, the 4834. Yes, yes, correct. Really solid entry on this though. I don't think I would be comfortable with it coming back to my entry at this point. I think if this goes, it would go here. Since I focus more on the market structure, I do way, way better on my trades. That's good. Yeah, I would hate to see this come back here. Partial 5 minute for me. Fair. I don't want to manually intervene on this one too much, but 3 minutes and 30 seconds before 4 a.m. And then NQ is almost at these highs as well, 498. Getting a nice little push there. So good read on NQ as well, but no entry. Gold acting up a little bit. No volume. I would also like to see this 15 swing on gold. I think as long as we close above this low, I will be happy. What do you mean? Everyone else can hear me fine. Got about 2 minutes before 4 a.m.
No, I mean, you kind of are.
It's comfy.
Nice color as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
The swing low besides doesn't bother you? No. Does does not. No, like there's like a swing low on gold. It was like 2 ticks from taking it. He was just asking me if it bothers me. Like, no. Gold does that. Gold loves doing that. Time is at 3:59. Yeah, we got about a minute here before the next hourly open. Love to see it move higher. I'm honestly gonna bring my stop to that low. I don't really see a world where if we get below this low, we don't just go for this low. So I'll bring my stop there. Here's 4 a.m. open. I'd love to see it tap into the 4809s. I really like my entry here. So I think I'll just go to break even. I'm break even on this gold trade, or like 1 tick higher, because I don't think, at least if we're gonna seek bullish, or if we're gonna seek highs now, I don't think this will need to come back to my entry to reaccumulate. So I'm break even here. What do you mean why it swept on my chart? What did it sweep? Like what low are you talking about it sweeping? My bad. Was my end volume is perfect? See if I can switch this over. There we go. Yeah, so we'll see if we can get into 4815. Then I'll just look to take one off there. This is gold. MGCM. Oh, the new Drake album came out.
But it's fucking ass. Like it always is. I really take care of Drake. New album?
Oh, never mind. I got fucking bamboozled.
Like,
Delayed. Just give a push into these highs, please. Yo, Kane, when you use Tradeovate, do you have continuous auto fit on or off?
so the bar's moving.
Yeah,
I show it off now.
same.
Maybe you can drag it.
Can you?
Yeah. Drag the bar. No, drag, zoom. You can zoom, like on the right bar, you can just zoom, you can zoom up and down and it'll move it. Yeah, I found this out like a week ago. Bro, I actually complained to the Tradevate team that it was so retarded you couldn't do that. And they were like, you can do that. I was like, what do you mean? They were like, oh, you just zoom on the bar
Damn.
up and down. And it will like it will move.
Yeah. Yeah, because on TradingView, you can just like click on it.
Just click it.
Yeah. I did not fucking know that.
And you know when you have an order, when you have an order on Tradevate, you can click the order on that side and just drag it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that I knew, but I didn't know about the zoom. Damn, this changes everything. Configure chart elements. Yeah, chart settings, color scheme. No, how do I? There we go. Wick up, wick down, body outline down, body down, body outline up. Better, I guess. No grid. Nice push here by GC. I really like it. See if we can get into 481. Oh, nice. 4815s. I wouldn't mind a tab back into the 4807s. I don't know how I feel about these colors, man. I think I'm just gonna bring them back. There we go. Guys, this is a solid entry. I'm not gonna.
Nothing, man. £620. Pay it monthly. Yeah, but then you end up paying £650. I think you pay less, but I don't think they do that kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, boys. I'm gonna call it here. I'll kind of let this gold thing play out, but it'll probably take all morning. And I don't want to watch this just so I will talk to you all. I appreciate you all very much, and I'll see you guys for New York Open. Peace.
When